Back in the early 2000s, when I grew up, it was not uncommon for people to still have those large TVs with wide backs and bulbs inside that would warm up the entire room. I was 6 years old, growing up in West Warwick. 2008 was not a great year for a lot of people financially. My mom and dad must have been going through something because I remember being alone at home a lot till late hours of the night. But it was all I knew, so I adapted. I'd make a bowl of cereal for breakfast, and for lunch, and for dinner, unless my mom or dad brought home fast food, usually McDonald's. While they were gone, I'd get right up in front of this TV, watching my favorite movies, like The Iron Giant and James and the Giant Peach, on repeat. Practicing the lines of the characters helped me enjoy them more, and at night, the heat from the bulbs, hard at work on the Toy Story menu, it would help me sleep at night. My mom got home from work and set a bag of Taco Bell on the counter. It felt like the day was going to end nicely. Maybe we would talk about each other's days and laugh at a joke I heard, but we sat at the table, for the first time, me and my mother, having a proper meal together. We wait for my dad to get home. We waited for most of the night. I fell asleep on the living room floor, curled up in my sleeping bag facing the TV. I only woke up when I heard my parents arguing loudly upstairs. Not an uncommon occurrence. I tried to fall back asleep, but just before I dozed off, the TV screen turned a dull pink color. At first, this unnerved me because the lack of sound coming from the television itself, but also the warmth it produced didn't fade. Quick, before I even thought to press the off button, I fell fast asleep to the toasty receiver emitting the dullish pink color. Next thing I remember is waking up to the house lit by the morning light and general quiet. This was wrong from the get-go. My parents should have been getting ready for work. I go up to my parents' room and knock before I answer, but my parents didn't say anything. Inside, they lay in bed, but when I touched my mom's hand, it was stone cold solid. I grabbed her phone and called 911, told them my mommy and daddy died, and EMS came and took them away. I wish I could remember more details, like what they said and if there was anything leading up to their death. But at the time, I was only a young kid. There was nothing I could have really done to help them. Later, I learned they died from a lethal dose of oxycodone mixed with alcohol. After the cops came and took me back to the station, my Aunt Steph and Uncle Doug picked me up and took me back to their place. I had never been there before, so I was grateful for the experience to meet a new family. To explain, this is my mother's brother and wife. I've lived with them ever since, and I've had a so-called normal life. Went to school, I did art, and got a scholarship, but have always struggled with my mental state and started seeing a therapist. She asked recently if I still had the old TV, and honestly, I didn't know. After asking my uncle to help me dig around the basement, we found it, along with my old VHS tapes from when I lived with my parents. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the TV because part of me has a weird attachment to it. In those hard times huddled next to the screen for warmth, watching the same stories unfold, there's a layer of nostalgia and comfort that I have now found again. On the other hand, I'm terrified to ever see that pink screen on that TV, or any TV for that matter. So, if anyone has any insight on what I should do, please let me know. I'm all ears.